Nikki Haley crumbles like a pumice stone. Is that a good analogy? I don't know. Metaphor. She was asked 3 times by Fox News propagandist Sean Hannity, can you tell me how you differ with Donald Trump on policy? And she was either unable to or unwilling to do that. This is amazing to see. Let's get right into it. I told you based on her campaign launch video on Tuesday that Nikki Haley seems to be making the argument, I'm like Trump, but younger and a woman, which, by the way, is identity politics, which we'll talk about later. But it really seems like she's unwilling or unable to draw any policy distinctions. Let's take a look at this.
If you had to delineate where, say, you and President Trump differ on issues, where would you start?
Well, first, let's say in reference to Whoopi, you know, the thought of me getting into the race makes the liberals' heads explode. And so I welcome it because it shows we're doing something right.
Well, but you're not needing to convince any liberals right now. You actually need to convince Republican voters because you're in a primary, Nikki.
You know, when it comes to what we're looking at now, listen to the first 20 minutes of your show. Look at everything that's wrong in this country and tell me we don't need new leadership. But the difference is we need new generational leadership.
Okay, so that's so far all we have is we need a different generation of people. Trump's 76. Nikki Haley is, I don't know, at least 25 years younger than that, I would guess. And so far the argument is we just need someone younger.
We have to leave the status quo. We have to leave this chaos behind, and we've got to start talking about the future. You need a Washington outsider that's going to come in and say, yes, I understand that families are having to pay more to make their grocery bill. I understand that they are worried about their children who may never get back from what they lost during COVID.
Okay.
I understand the fact that when someone's factory leaves town, he's worried that his future went with it.
So this is verbatim stuff Trump says. So far, not a single policy difference.
I understand that you should not have Americans looking up at the sky and seeing a Chinese spy balloon looking back at them. This is insanity. And what we need...
Remember, she's running against Trump right now, not Joe Biden.
Are a lot of changes. First of all, we've got too many politicians in D.C. that are past their prime. We have to have term
So again, just there's too many old people.
Limits in Congress. We need to see competency tests for any elected official over the age of 75.
We'll get back to that, by the way. That's interesting.
We've got to stop the spending addiction that is happening, that is causing inflation to go up. And we need to start realizing that we don't need our politicians getting on TV and talking. We need the people in D.C. doing, and we need to spark a fire up under them. And that's what I'm willing to do. And if you are tired of losing, because we've lost the last 7 out of 8 popular votes for president, we're doing something wrong. If you're tired of losing, then join me.
I know you all notice this, but there is not a single policy difference cited there with Donald Trump. This continued. Sean Hannity tried it again.
Let me go back to my original question, though, because
yeah, which you didn't answer, by the way.
Anybody that is looking or seeking a nomination, you're going to be comparing and contrasting your policy positions, your views, what direction you want to take the country with your competitors. Right now, there's former President Trump is the only other candidate for the nomination. We expect many others, maybe even Mike Pompeo, who was on earlier in the program today. Where do you see, if you see, policy differences beyond what you mentioned, which are generational differences? What specific policy areas would you say part with Donald Trump?
Now, by the way, good job by Sean Hannity, right? Well, good job because Hannity's already decided he supports Trump. It's Trump's friend. So he's actually doing like what we might call a real interview.
What I am saying is I don't kick sideways. I'm kicking forward. Joe Biden is the president. He's the one I'm running against.
Okay, that's code for I'm not going to criticize Republicans. I'm going to criticize Joe Biden. She's not running against Joe Biden. In order to run against Joe Biden, she has to defeat Trump.
And what I'm saying is you don't have to be 80 years old to be president. We don't need to have these same people going back again. We need something new. We need a new generation of fighters. We need people that understand whether you're American, you're average American is coming from, and we shouldn't be afraid to fight for that. And that's what I'm willing to do. I'm not going to kick sideways. I don't have...
Okay, I'm not going to kick sideways. She's not going to criticize other people that she is running against and who she has to argue she is a better choice than. That's going to be very tough to win then. Now, as interesting as this is, their voters don't care about policy. So it might not, they sort of are having the last laugh in the sense that we look at this and we go, she's not articulating a single policy difference to Trump. I don't know that she has to win a Republican nomination. That's the sort of sad thing. She maybe just does have to say the stuff that she's saying. I don't know. Hannity tried once more.
I want to take the country with your competitors. Right now, there's former President Trump is the only other candidate for the nomination. We expect many others, maybe even Mike Pompeo.
Okay, and so I'm realizing that that's the clip we actually already looked at. Okay, so multiple attempts there, and she doesn't draw any policy distinctions. This was obvious from the campaign launch video. The campaign launch video contained no policy distinctions and just her saying it's time for a new generation. This is apparently what she's going to run on, plus identity politics, which we will talk about a little bit later on. These clips, if you want to check them out, are found on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The David Pakman Show. And also The David Pakman Show now in Spanish. You can find the Spanish YouTube channel at davidpakman.com/Spanish. One of our sponsors is Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Don't you think it's time you stopped putting smoke and vape oils in your lungs? Zippix toothpicks are a convenient way to curb the nicotine cravings. Zippix toothpicks are super discreet. You can use them anytime, anywhere smoking and vaping aren't allowed, including flights, sporting events, in restaurants. They're available in 6 different flavors with options of 2 and 3 milligrams of nicotine. If you're not a nicotine user, Zippix also offers caffeine and B12 infused toothpicks. Zippix has already helped tens of thousands of customers ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vapes. They might be able to help you too. If you're a smoker or a vapor, give Zippix toothpicks a try. Your lungs will thank you. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com today. Save 10% with the code PAKMAN10 at checkout. Just remember, you must be 21 or older to order. The link is down below.